Okay, so I know I've not done this kind of video in a long time now, but for some reasons I decided I have to do this today. So those who probably just started watching my channel probably may not know much. Um, so at some point I made it known, that I'm a monk. Celibate, that's what I mean. And so so that I'll be showing people how I'm living that monk life, through this channel. So and most part of it is or most part of it has to do with my project activities. So which I tend to be sharing on this channel. It doesn't mean that's the only thing, but then this is the part I kind of, you could say, feel comfortable to share, publicly. And the other things, and but then what I now realized was, while I stopped some of the content, topic of the content I was doing, and started to focus on this, the Pojo activities. So I didn't know that actually some people were actually drawn to me because of those other subjects, or actually, you know, my reason for going celibate. And so, as you know, sometimes at that time I will explain certain things, not necessarily the reason why, but then other things, talk about other things other than Pojo or vehicles entirely. So sometimes I get some of those calls or conversation offline, uh, you know, and I've been encouraged to continue doing such discussion or topics on my channel. But the thing is, I was looking at it like there was no need. You know, um, you have to look at, like I always say, your part, so my part might be different from yours, and on your part you discover your life purpose. If you're a man, of course, you have a life purpose, except you've not actually looked inwards to discover yours, because that most times we tend to look at other people's life purposes, and then try to um, jump into their own path, so to start living those life as if that's your own life people, while yours is there, on your own line. So it could be anything. Yeah, you could say Pojo vehicles is most part of it for me. It doesn't mean that's the only thing. Like I said, this is the only one I tend to share. Maybe in future I could go beyond that. So I was like, okay, this is what the part, because the reason why I share this one is at least to inspire others, probably who want to live this kind of similar. You have to figure out your own life purpose, because that's what will keep you moving. Um, I mean, when you talk to a family man, what I mean a man that has a family, a wife and children, his purpose will differ from mine. Um, you know, because you could say his responsibility might define his life purpose. So I'm doing mine, and but the thing here is this. There are 3 calls I received recently, so that was why I was like, maybe I might start to introduce or start discussing some of these things, every once in a while, doing some topics like that. But from the title, I will indicate it so I know that this is not about Pojo or vehicle. So you don't need to watch it. You don't have to. If you see anyone relating to vehicle or Pojo, you see from the title, this is because I realize as if I've caught up uh, some of the subscribers or people who actually were interested in the beginning that started with this channel or met me at some point, and we are encouraged to be watching some of their contents. But now it's not as if they are not car person, but maybe they're not really into Pojo vehicles. But then what drawn them to my channel was these other topics concerning life generally, um, mostly philosophical side of life, so which I've stopped talking about. So they came to me and gave some suggestions, and one of them actually said at some point he was down, pressure was too much, that he actually wanted to go down route where I am. But he just realized that he just couldn't push those pressures away, pressure from every angle, from the family members. um you need to get married, this and that, and then so at a point he kind of fell for it and started the process, but then called me, for me to talk him out of it. I said no, I wasn't going to do that. That I will not do that. Every man has a path. I made my own life decision, so I can't stop you from what if you want to do it. um because I mean, I can't I can't say no, do it or don't do it. I'm showing you mine, so it's up to you. I don't know. The only thing I said was, well, um you probably most like you've decided to do it, but then you are like having second thoughts that should give you enough reason not to do it. So, but we got talking, and I said, okay, yes, I'm not a married man and don't intend to or ever want to be. But it didn't mean that it doesn't mean I didn't grow up to a nuclear family. Observe my environment, seeing what goes on in a married man's life. So I gave him an advice. I said, if you can, from what I've gathered after being so many, I don't know, I don't need to tell you my age, but I can tell you, after spending whatever I spent in this physical time, I can tell you the best thing for a man, if you can financially afford it, keep two households. Don't live with your woman. Don't. Doesn't mean you don't care for her or that, but don't. If you can, get a separate house. I mean, these are the things you need to lay down. If you can financially be able to do that, do not live with your woman. I gave him instances, use history. He's an Igbo man, I'm an Igbo man, so it was more easier for me to explain my position on that. Going back, the traditional Igbo culture, how Igbo men in the past were living. Of course, it was basically, it was like 99.9%. It was polygamy. So, and I explained to why they were doing that, which you don't need to go back in the past to ask them. From now, you can look at why. It's very telling, you know. Even in the compound, the man still has his own house, his own hut. You might have 4 wives, 6 wives, or how many you could afford to maintain, to keep, but then he stays in his own hut. You know, 5 wives, you have to, if you want any of them they want to have sex with, will come to his own hut. They will do their business. The woman goes back to his to her own hut with the children, with her own children, stay there. If it's your time to provide food for him, or the day to provide food for him, you do that. So my point is, there's a reason. It's an experiment any man can do by himself. Some men will disagree, trying to, one thing is, men will always want to rationalize their poor decisions or poor choices, or, not trying to uh, think of their situation. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if you're in that's you couldn't afford it or you can't afford it. Yeah, but when you actually look at it, you know, you just have to, one thing women mostly do, as much as they care about you as well, but they will end up emasculating you, they will end up making you weak. Um, it's to me, it's just too mental. It's a torture. I don't understand how men survive it. Those who are married, I don't know. I don't know how you guys survive it. It can be that it's something I just could not live with. You know, like I said, doesn't mean um, it just the way nature builds men and women biologically, we just not meant to stay in one house as an adult. I mean, they will just some men snap. You could tell that's why some men they will just snap and do some dangerous things. So you just a lot of things. Men what we usually one of the main thing we expect from men, our women, men, women, your wife, those who have girlfriend, the girlfriend, um, any woman you relate with, professionally or otherwise, is respect. It's what men can go to war because of disrespectful. When you disrespect a man, you'll be surprised at how length you could go. So, but when you live with a woman, it goes down. You know, you could try your best for that respect, not to not for her to keep respecting you by going extra mile. That's what I mean. You start getting weak, softer. Um, Sometimes I use the word emasculation. Doing things ordinarily you wouldn't do. Things that makes you feel very bad, but then she's right there in your face, wouldn't let you breathe. So if you can, that's what I mean. Get this, say your own heart. Put that condition before you get married. This is how you want to live. If you don't want it, I mean, polygamy is biologically in every man. That's how we are created. It's just that Christianity came and men bought into it. So and but then hey, look at nature. It's not it's just not. It's not just humans. Just look at nature. Other animals, and then back to human. Even after you are married, you are still looking at other women. Yeah, you probably two reasons why you are not. Um, how will I put it? Sleeping around is probably because your religion. Your religion tells you if you do that, it's a big sin. You go to hellfire to so-called cheat on your wife or sleep with more than one, more than with other women that are not your wife. If you are in a monogamous family, then the second reason could most times could be financial aspect because you couldn't afford to you know go to hotel, sleep with the person and come back. You know how it be. Or you probably can't afford to be maintaining two women at the same time, raising your household, your girlfriend and the person you are sleeping with will also be making financial demand for you. But inside you that if there are no such restraints or limitations, if your religion tells you it's not bad, even after marriage, to have other side chick or girls you sleep with, all these people telling you how bad it is, all those things will throw them away out of the window. Your sexual urges when you see girls that flapping their breasts and their buttocks in your face to get your attention. Yeah, we can subdue all these urges, some of those urges, you know, knowing sometimes you attribute, because that one of the things they do when you are pass through seminary institution like I did. That's why it's easier for me, you know. Even no matter how a girl try to seduce you with, whatever she's wearing or how she's acting, then we always thought all those things like, the consequences to that. At that moment, what you just interpret or see her as something else, not as that person she actually is. So that's some of the ways you can subdue some of those sexual urges, because as a man you have one thing you cannot, no matter what you do, you can't take it away, and that is high sex drive is in you. That's is there. If you like say it was God that did it or whatever you worship, it's there for the world to procreate. If a man does not have that high sex drive, there won't be reproduction. Because that's what we call men look and call love. It's just that high sex drive. Anyway, you could say maybe it's not the only thing. Yeah, there are sometimes attitudes of some women can make you okay. She is special. That is somebody you can raise a family with. Aside whatever she has, whatever every other girl has, so it doesn't mean her own is different. But then, fine, there are something other things about her that is somebody you can live with. Anyway, so I gave out those advice and a piece of advice, and I was okay. See, if you can just don't live with her. It wasn't it was a thing before, but for some reason, like I said, religion, we could say, I won't say religion because there are other forms of religion that types of religion in Africa before Christianity came, and those ones did not say no to polygamy. In fact, it was like part of it. Almost every society in the world in the past were practicing polygamy. Even when they didn't even know each other, everyone was living on their own, as in they didn't even know such exist, such society exists, except the ones around them that they trade with. But suddenly it's not a bad thing. It's like you've committed one crime to even think of going beyond one wife. Because for some reason God said, the funny thing, go to the Bible, say I'm here to guys, I passed through seminary school. I studied this Bible. I don't know where. Unfortunately, Bible have been interpreted and edited and changed. So even when people are quoting Bible, don't even understand that they probably don't even know what they are talking about, because what they are Bible have changed. So contents have changed. So everybody is changing it now to their own to give that information. It call it propaganda. So to reflect that propaganda they want to tell you. Because I know from the beginning the Bible did not reject or condemn polygamy. Yeah, but people now, tell you if not, why? I remember when I was a Catholic. Basically it's a religion because Once I left that was it. That was something I just did not understand. But it was actually explained to me. Maybe I will give it to you guys who probably don't know. While I was in seminary, we had a session. There's something we usually do sometimes. We call it spiritual week. I think it was we just do it end of particular what do we call it? Is it semester? Trying to remember. So God spiritual week. So on the particular day, so the discussion was why priests don't marry. You can't hear this from it's only the priest or the could explain. As in it was broken down to us why. Not because it was bad, not because God considered it sinful that if a reverend father marries, that means a very bad thing. No, because it's going to be a big distraction to your work as a reverend father. I will explain why it will be that distraction, which is the same thing men go to when you are living with a woman. Maybe if they've thought that, okay, as a reverend father, if you can marry as long as you live on your own. Because some of the examples they gave us, you realize that it was as a result of still living together. That was why these things they mentioned will be a big distraction or hindrance on the man to do his missionary work. So that it doesn't mean because for some reason God or Jesus came down from heaven and told the apostles before or people that took over after the apostles or disciples or before Christianity was created that if you choose to serve God that you must not marry. No. I mean, all you need to do is look at when Jesus gathered these 12 apostles. Was it 12 or 11? 12. I mean, it was basically there. That's why I said go back to that original Bible, you understand? Yeah, you could say still that one was basically detailed as well. It wasn't like say it was right from Jesus' mouth. No. These are stories told and told and told. I eventually started writing them down. Yeah, you could say Holy Spirit descended on them. They say whatever you want to say to make you feel better. So, but then at least it captures the reasons, why Jesus of Nazareth chose men, whether they were married before or not. But right now, you have to stay single to be able to follow him and do that work he intended to do or he was on about. So bringing it back to the advice I gave the guy concerning if you can live on your own house while you have your wife and children on a separate house, you are better off. Do your father role, your husband role, doesn't mean you don't care about them. You visit them, they can visit you, but everybody depart. Maybe if you have sons and they grow up, yeah, in that case they might start coming. They can even come and stay with you because at some point they will now need that father figure fully in their life. Because women can't raise boys into men. It's biologically impossible. If you want say whatever you want to say, it's biologically impossible. You could say you raise yourself into man if probably you grew up in that scenario and became a better person, not because your mother raised you right. No. It's impossible. I'm telling you as somebody that also grew up in a nuclear family with husband and wife together. There was no way my mother could raise me alone. Because I knew at some point who is she to tell me what to go and do this and I'll listen to her. So, doesn't matter whether I care about her or not. Once you become a man, it just becomes impossible. But that authority, that masculine authority is the only thing that can steer an adolescent, a teen, into being destructive, into doing things that could limit his life expectancy. I don't, how do I even call it? I probably wouldn't be here if my father was not here to sit down and put his feet down. So, yeah, you could do that. You can structure your married life that way. You know, if you can afford it, like I say, this is about money now. Having two houses, because you will be taking care of them financially, everything. So it's not about you only take care of yourself. No, just that you need that. It's not privacy. Just I don't know. If I had to explain it to you, then you need to test it because it's not everything you explain. Of course, the women might be listening as they are listening to this. They will say, "Oh, this guy, he hates women." What did they use the word again? Misogyny. Of course, misogyny is once you can't, you don't have any right to see anything wrong and say it about a woman. Woman must be perfect. So once you say anything wrong, a woman is doing or try to correct her, you must hate women. So that one is obvious. But now I'm telling you, somebody again that lived to grew up various homes, not just my parents' house, various homes, been around places, observe things. If you can, don't live with your woman. It doesn't matter how much you so-called love her. Don't. Just try it. It matter how little you understand. Of course, she wouldn't want that. But the point is, she will even understand what she's doing to you if you are stay and live with her. She will not understand. But then all of a sudden, oh, I don't know how come the man I married tomorrow is no longer the same man. It's not this, it's not that. Well, you can say, no, no. So that's the best thing I can do. I'm not saying every man that lives with his woman is no longer a man. But if you're going to make it more difficult, more difficult to be able to retain your individual self, under with a woman, you just love them, but I mean, it's just that energy doesn't need to stay constantly in your face. Otherwise, messes you up. In the Western world, they kill themselves when they could no longer handle it because there's nobody to complain to. You talk to this person, you say you're not man enough. You talk to the other fellow man to give you a solution. You buckle up, suck it up, go there, keep doing. In fact, you are wrong. How dare you even to complain or to even think there's a problem until he pulls a gun and put a bullet through his face. Oh, he must be suffering from depression. Oh, he has a mental illness. Of course, that's how they will put it. No, who gives a shit about a man going through some crisis? That reminds me. I was reading. I was going to. Not necessarily. I was going to. Okay, I think I opened my Facebook and then I saw one of my friends posted something or shared. I think no, he shared someone's post. About Nigerians, not necessarily every man. I'm just talking about Nigerians, which I've always known anyway. But then let me say that because once it's kind of very sad. When you see a fellow man like let me put the way that post says, a fellow man could come and say, "Oh, I'm in financial dilemma." I'm not saying only you should help me, but maybe. Oh, okay, you could say no. It says maybe someone's friend or someone has a financial issue his business is not is shaky, and in a group, maybe in that group they say please contribute so that we can inject this money, and so that this guy can be able to grow in his business or start off a business and become somebody, or become successful as a man, living to stay alive or stand on his own. In other words, just help this man as much as you can. Nobody would pay him kobo you will not see. Even if they will bring shishi, they will just drop 1 penny. Most times they don't. If let's assume a group of 500, maybe only 5 or 2. Oh, help this man, as in, obviously you could see this man is struggling and he needs some financial help. Nah, he's a loser. I beg you, let's talk about something important. He's not man enough. Do you know how I'm struggling? Do you know I have financial issues? Do you know I also need money? Excuses, this and that. Fine. Then the man dies 7 days later. And then the information now comes up again in that same group. So and so member has died because of some health issues. He couldn't cope or couldn't run his business, something, well, for whatever reason, or maybe that same issue was virtually what killed him. Please, let's contribute money because the family doesn't have any money to bury him. Please, let's contribute money to no matter how small. Every one of the members will be dropping huge amount of money to bury him. This one 100,000, this one 500,000, this one. As in, everybody will be dropping it, wham, making it, yes, I did that. I'm the one, put my name out. I dropped this amount, so give this man befitting burial. Same man, or same similar situation, as in, give this man money to start up a business or inject. Bring money, is dead, let's bury him. Everybody will rush to bring money to bury the person. And not just small, as in money that can feed a nation. That's what they would drop to bury the same man. They will even look at the post when he's asking for help. So the question there in that post was, what is wrong with human beings? It makes no sense. I recall I posted there and said, come on, I've always known human beings are very stupid. People always say I'm being too arrogant. I'm just being direct. It's just that most people don't hate it. Everybody likes to be politically correct, so be saying nice things. No, humans are very stupid. I've always known that for a long time. What I mean, generally, you just say general things. It's not about, are you saying every woman? Are you saying even me, I'm very stupid? I'm saying generally humans are stupid. Look at what we do. Look at what we do. You could be the exception. I could be the exception, because if I say I don't do this thing, you could say, you are trying to play holier than that. I say, look at woman. Look at what we do. See how stupid. Not just this case. The point is, you look at some of these things, you're like, why even bother? Why even bow to some of these pressures, you people? When it comes to marriage, I understand it's expected responsibility. If you're a man, this and that, fine. If you want to do it, for example, in Igbo land now, if you're not a married man, I don't think they will give you any titleship. I don't think so. Possibly, but I doubt. Maybe in some Igbo land or some places it's possible. Life is about trade-off. Who care? I don't care about titleship. Uchilos or one of this, Obuefi of this. Okataka Ochia, this or that. Tigbo Zogbo, this number one of this. Who cares? I beg, carry your name, they go jail. Who cares about those things? Some do, some don't. So it's trade-off. So if you choose not, if you've gone to go the route I'm taking, don't expect such thing. You have to be willing to do that. So that was my advice I gave him, and you know, I don't know. So there were, like, I remember about two persons I spoke, that asked me, hey, if I could do more on my channel concerning this type of discussions. I was like, I think one person was advising, that people look up to me, even though I might not know. They are silent subscribers, observers, because they do not have the kind of courage I have to come up in a society like ours here in Nigeria, or as an Igbo man, or in Africa, to make this kind of public awareness that this who you are, this and that, going against the crowd, not choosing to go with the norm, that they want to have someone to talk to, but then it can be very difficult in this kind of society to even bring it up in any kind of gathering or small talk, that I should, so I should pioneer and lead in this kind, especially like in Nigeria, since for now I seem to be the only person who seems to be more vocal about this. And other thing, maybe create a group for this type of discussions, form a club, this and that. I was like, as good as this suggestion is, you need to understand that that out of how many people watching my videos, let's just say 1,000 people are watching my video. Let's just, or say 1,000 people are my subscribers on my YouTube channel or watch my videos. You'll be surprised that about 400 of them are doing it to see my downfall. Yeah, they might be doing that, watching it, benefiting, but their utmost interest is to see where, say, oh, he made a mistake. Yeah, fine, let's condemn every other thing he has done. I'm here to watch when he will fall, so that I will laugh my ass out. I will say all those things. I say, yes, I know it was going to be a disappointment. Look at what he did. Look at what he did, this and that. So don't assume that, that every man you see has even though he does not know you, but then that may have your best interest. No, even when they do know you. So, in other words, yeah, I could go and open this such a group or try to do that. Next thing you hear is, oh, this guy is trying to pioneer gay club in Nigeria. Because it means, he wants to have a club or group where unmarried men can come and talk. Not unmarried men, because, I mean, if you have intention to marry, that's a different thing. The men who identify as celibate or monk or whatever, that choose not to marry. Oh, these are gay. These are gay people. These are homosexuals. This is what this guy is doing. He's opening club for homosexuals in Nigeria, which is against the law. So you could be surprised how far people will go there. Others, they are looking for just to see a way, just to see an avenue. I mean, come on, almost every day. Even when I tell people, they don't say it. I know from the look, from the expression of their face, you could tell, oh, this guy probably is a gay or he's a homosexual. Why? I don't even, like I say, hey, if you like, whatever you want to say, how opinion you want to have, hey, have it. What's the point? Do I have to live? I mean, my life has been I've been in existence for how long? You think your opinion or you think your existence will stop mine because so I mean, come on, move around, Jelly. You don't need to talk to me because like as if you don't talk, if I stop talking to Lion King, then he will no longer exist. Come on. So that's why I don't really care. And I put my own out so that if you feel you don't need to be talking to celibate or a monk or stuff like that, as a man who doesn't want to marry, you better don't bother to come so that you see it up front. This is who I am. So don't bother. I don't need to start explaining. So right now you know already. So before you even call, before you even interact, before you even make that first statement, know that this is who I am. So that if that's your perspective of life, that no, this kind of people should not be given attention or spoken to or transact with. Better from there, don't even bother to pick that phone or call in the first place. So that was the advice I gave her, which was not bad. I mean, in other society, in the Western world, trust me, it would have been a big thing if I've gone into such this thing, because in that place, anybody that calls you, you can be sued. But over here, nobody cares, you know. So people can stay and call you any that type of name they want because they know you have people hardly sue others for such I know I don't want to go, but um so I have plans for this channel. I'm not saying um I just I just do it, when I'm inspired for something, I do it, you know. When I'm not, I introduce, sometimes I introduce certain things. After a while, the drive will just fiddle away. I might start off a new thing on this channel, and after a while, it will just die. I don't need to. But we'll see what happens. I'm not saying I'm going to open any club. I'm saying in terms of coming back to this kind of discussion, because it's not just about talking about celibate life and this and that. No, the other discussions I could still bring up, or topic I could still express. That has nothing to do with cars. Like I said, from the title, this is not about cars. So if you are not interested, don't bother to watch. There are people who actually have been started right from the beginning on this channel when I created it, or at some point when I created it, because of those kind of conversations or discussions. So who knows? I might be bringing it at least once in a while. I mean, I shouldn't just abandon them. Doesn't mean there are not other people that say how do those kind of discuss those kind of topics in their own channel, but they want to hear my own perspective on some of those subjects as well. Everybody, no matter how boring you think my talk or discussion, you'll be surprised that one or two out of the thousands that are listening to what I'm saying right now, or 5 people that will end up watching this video only one person will actually, every word I'm saying will be making sense to that person. you know so I'll do my best. Let's see how it goes. Then this channel, I'm maybe in the nearest future, there's some discussion that will be coming up, not necessarily about vehicle, but it must not be limited to only Pojo. But the only thing is not like I'll be discussing the technical part. I could just be, remember this channel is Ikena 351 Monk. So it has nothing to, it's not specific for Pojo vehicles. So for people who are here, don't assume that, oh, if I start talking about other things, because when you look at the channel name, you could tell that it has nothing to do with Pojo. So it's just about me, my life, what I do. So I put it out there. So I might maybe once in a while have a discussion with people that drive other brand of cars. let them share their experiences. If anyone I will have something to contribute, talk on that. Yeah, I might do that. Or I see something, and, share my experiences. The other brand I used before, don't think that it's only Pojo. I've always been a Pojo. All my cars have been Pojo, no. So I've had other experiences, but then. So we'll see how it goes. So I've not forgotten you guys. I'm talking to the people I'm talking to know themselves. People who are here because of this other subjects. I've used the word subject, not necessary topic. Other subjects of discussion who actually here to always look out for when I do that kind of video. No, I'm not forgotten, you know. Um, so I've had some discussion with few of you who I do not know before, but found a way, contacted me private to have discussion off the channel. So some via email, some phone calls, some chats. It's been I don't know, been a long time. Um, okay, so we'll see. So I'm just trying to inform everyone that the channel is not only for Pojo. Just because I do Pojo doesn't necessarily mean I did not put Pojo title at all on the channel. What I mean in the channel name. So, but of course, my passion with Pojo, so it will always be most part of the discussion on this channel. So that will not go away. Okay, till another time.